Good morning, all of you. In today's session, we are going to start with the 10th standard chemistry and physics, unit number 11, principles of metallurgy. Series 5 is going to be discussed. In the earlier session, we gone through what is the main distinction between metal, mineral, and ore. The kind of stratification got carried in the earlier session, and what are the important applications of metals in our day-to-day life. That topic was also completed, and what are the important steps in order to convert the crude product of mineral into a usable form. How many sequential steps are going to be adopted in that? So those topics were also completed. In that, we have three major steps. One is called a concentration of ore, and second is called extraction of the crude metal, and followed by refining process. And we already completed flow chart with related with the in how many ways, what kind of categorization is possible for metals, and in how many ways metals can be purified. That glance on that entire purification process was also completed. The purpose of concentration is in order to remove any impurities which are associated in a bulk, and that is a preliminary stage of removal of impurities. After that, we entered into extraction of metal. So during the extraction process, there is a possibility of calcination where heating is possible and decomposition of carbonate kind of ores into oxide form is possible. And another is about roasting, where roasting process mainly applied for the sulfide type of minerals, so which in turn heated in the presence of oxygen so that they converted into oxides. So later they will be reduced in the presence of either carbon or carbon monoxide or any other methods, and gives rise to a metal. And further refining is possible where electrolysis process will be applied in general. So refining process can be proceeded with so many ways, but so different methods are used to give the final product or pure product. So this is a way of purification. That kind of flow chart was also discussed in the earlier session, and we already gone through how the concentration of ore is possible. Concentration is possible by hand picking method and washing with water, and also froth flotation process. We gone through the mechanical separation. Right, hand picking, which mainly depends upon the color and also the texture of the material which were we chosen. So by simple distinction, by seeing, we can identify which is the mineral and which is the impurity. Based on that, we can separate. And next is about washing by adding water. So water soluble impurities get removed by this method. And froth flotation, during the froth flotation, the mineral was crushed into a fine powdery state and added with a suitable solvent, and that is subjected to the centrifugal force, so that it will be stirred in a proper way, so that here impurities whichever present can deposited at the bottom because of gravitation, and the metal especially in a sulfide form will be floating on the surface in the form of froth, because we are bubbling the air into that one. So that is the froth flotation process. And any other mechanical separation where mechanical wheels are revolving in a continuous manner, and we are crushing that mineral into a fine powdery state in a ball mill, and that will be supposed to pass through the belt which is carrying over these moving wheels. So here, being these wheels are magnetized, and the magnetic material, most probably the metal which we are trying to extract, will deposit near to the magnet, and the impurities will expel away from that wheels. So in that manner, magnetic and non-magnetic impurities get separated. That is the process called a concentration of ore. And next is about extraction of crude product. During the extraction of crude product, we have so many methods based on the nature of metal, what we are taking for the separation, right? So, or So in that process, we gone through the calcination, roasting process. All these are clearly discussed in the earlier session. In addition to all these, we already completed Unit 1 to Unit 10 entire detailed explanation available on the channel called the World of Competitive Chemistry. Now we entered into this series number 5. Let us discuss about this one. Now we entered into the third step called the purification of crude metal. So whenever concentration got carried, what happens? Impurities which is surrounding will be removed. In the second one, extraction of crude metal, in the sense whatever combined forms will be there, like oxides, halides, hydroxides, sulfides, sulfates, bicarbonates, carbonates. What we are doing, we are separating that one into a metallic one. So that is called extraction of crude metal, which is not in a 100% pure form. But so we need more one step in order to get the high purity of the compound. That step is called a refining process. Let us see the detailed discussion about the refining. Refining is the final step of this metallurgical process, which is mainly for the purification of impure metal. So if we are having 70% of the metal content with all other impurities along with, so in that case we have to go for this refining in order to improve its purity. So for that purpose, here refining is required. Here so many methods can be chosen in order to go for this purification of crude metal. It is to be distinguished from other processes such as smelting and calcination. So these are some of the methods for refining, smelting and calcination. In that, those involves a chemical change of raw materials are possible, wherein refining final materials are usually identical chemicals or pure form can be extracted. So by choosing the suitable methods based on the nature of the metal we are refining. So here finally a pure form of metal obtaining is the ultimate goal of this refining process. Now let us discuss in detail about this one. We are taking a blister. Blister is nothing but a copper. We are supposed to extract the copper from the copper pyrites, copper iron pyrites. Right. So this was the ore taken and different steps were performed in order to get the metal. And now we entered into the refining step. Let us see how it will be processed and how it will be purified. So here blister was taken, copper obtained from the sulfide ore. The suitable ore for this copper extraction will be copper iron pyrites. It is composed of copper, iron and in the form of sulfide state. As-2 is the oxidation state of this one. CuFeS2 is the chemical formula of copper iron pyrites, where copper content is economically extracted. And this contains a copper sulfide as well and iron sulfur. So these are the components. So copper exists in the form of sulfide state and iron and either sulfur is also present in this in its individual composition. And the main purification method for this one will be suitable method including electrolysis. This copper iron pyrites get purified by the process called electrolysis. Now, the process of obtaining pure metal from the impure metal is called refining. Just now we discussed that. So here different steps are there. 3 steps. First is concentration. Second is about extraction of crude metal. So whenever we are extracting crude metal, that may not be directly fabricated into our application form. What could be the reason for that one? Because so when we are fabricating that impure one, that may be associated with so many type of impacts. Worse impacts may be generated because of impurities whichever associated, right? That's the reason why purity of the metal is the most important goal here. So in order to get that one, the process called a refining can be applied. Refining of the metal involves the several type of process. So the type of refining we are going to choose mainly depends upon the type of metal which is taken for refining process. Here some of the methods are illustrated here. One is called a distillation, second is called a pooling, third is called a liquation, fourth is called electrolysis. In this session we are going to elaborate these topics in detail. What are these? One is called a distillation process and the second is called a pooling process. Third is called a liquation. Fourth one is called a electrolysis. Let us go one by one in detail. The process that has to be adopted for the purification given metal depends upon the nature of metal and its impurities. Yes, exactly. Because all metals are not supposed to be purified by single method. So we have to stratify the nature of metal. Based on that, we can choose the suitable or relevant method for the purification, so that high quality of the purity will be obtained. So let us go with distillation. So in the earlier session also we stressed about distillation. Distillation is purely or making different temperature zones. Temperature zones were given. So as we are moving up, what happens? Temperature gradually decreases. At the bottom, temperature will be very high. So in that case, when metal was taken and which is in contact with some extent of impurities, for example, we are going to purify zinc and mercury by using this process called the distillation. So let us assume we are taking a zinc metal. So we are taking 1 kilogram of zinc metal, and 1 kilogram, that is not 100%, that is a crude 1 kg zinc was taken, and which was inserted into this distillation chamber, for example, where heat is supplied from the bottom, so that bottom chamber will have a high temperature, and the next level another distinct zone. For example, we are starting with 300 degrees one zone, next is about 200, next is about 100. In this manner, different temperature zones will be there. Right. So when this impure zinc was placed in that, what happens? So at 300 degrees centigrade, the impurities whichever decompose, whichever present can be decomposed at the temperature, but zinc will not. So because of most of the metals are having high melting and boiling point values, so that here at that high temperature condition, the impurities will be exhaled from the system. They escaped in the form of gas, and zinc remains in solid form only. That purely depends upon their melting and boiling point values. So whenever impurities are having low melting and boiling point values when compared to the metal we are refining, in that case, this distillation process is apted. So it is most suitable method of separation. The extracted metal in the molten form distilled to obtain the pure metal to distillate, right? So here, so for example, in one condition we discussed, if impurities are having low melting and boiling point values when compared to the metal. So in that case, what happens? Metal exists in solid state, and the impurities will be gasified and they can be escaped from the system. That is the case number one. And we are also having a second condition where impurities are having higher melting and boiling point values, and our metal of refining is having lower melting and boiling point value, right? So in that case, for example, I'm taking zinc, and the impurities melt a higher melting point value when compared to zinc. In that case, how can we purify? Because we are taking zinc and placed in this distillation chamber. When it kept in the distillation chamber, what happens? So it's a melting point value. Zinc is turned into a molten state. But so what happens? The impurities are having higher melting point, boiling point value. That's why they remains in solid form only. So that it is very easy to separate that our zinc molten metal with the solid impurities. Just we can go through the screening process, so that solid impurities will be discarded and molten zinc further subjected to cooling and further crystallization, so that pure form of zinc will be obtained. We can apply two conditions. One is, if impurities are having low melting and boiling point values, what happens? That will be escaped and the pure zinc metal will be obtained. That is the condition number one. If impurities are having high melting and boiling point values, in that case, molten metal will be obtained, so that here solid can be discarded. So this is a case where we can apply distillation. And next is about polling process. In the earlier session also, we have an introduction for the polling process. Polling process, we have to take a big container. So molten metal should be taken into this. So initially, for example, if our metal is melting at 520 degrees centigrade, for example, So that should be heated at that melting point temperature. It will be converted into a molten state. Now, molten metal will be placed into this, and here wet otherwise logs will be taken. So these are not completely dry. So just taken from the plants, just taken from the trees. So here it is represented in a green color because it is not completely dried. So the kind of fresh logs can be taken, which are denoted as poles, right? So of green wood. So the condition, because so whenever we are mixing this molten liquid, what happens? So whatever chemicals evolved from this log used to remove the gases. That's the reason why. So here essential condition will be logs which freshly taken from the trees are taken as a poles here, and these are used to stir this molten metal. The impurities are removed either in the form of gaseous state or oxidized in the form of scum and get deposited at the bottom, right? So here while stirring, so because this is in the molten state and continuously again we are supplying the heat, and this pole is used to stir the molten metal, so that, so there are two conditions. If impurities are volatile, so they get escaped from the system in the form of gaseous state. If they are having high density, so that they get deposited at the bottom in the form of scum, in the form of precipitate, so that it will be very easy, because being metal is in molten state, that will be separated by screening, and this solid can be the solid can be easily separated. So this is another method called a poling. And here the blister copper is purified by this process. Poling is most prominently applied for the copper purification process. So being copper applied in the wide range of application, especially in electronic conducting materials, these are made up of copper. And even copper bottom utensils can be utilized. Stainless steel copper bottom utensils can be utilized. And being it is a coinage element, it is also having the monetary applications as well. So in so many areas, these copper and its related compounds are finding application. That's why here we are discussing about copper. So here the reducing gases evolved from the wood. So that's the important thing we have to remember for poling process here. So when freshly taken wood was given, so that used to release the gases. So these gases used to reduce the impurities whichever present in this molten material, so that oxidation of copper is possible and impurities will be escaped from the system. That is the principle which lays behind this poling process. The special thing of this one will be wood used to release some of the gases that used to reduce the impurities. Consequently, copper will be oxidized and that will be obtained in the pure form, and the remaining all the impurities will be removed. This is the most specific kind of purification method for copper. And the next process is called a liquefaction. In this method, low melting metals like a tin can be made to flow on a slopy surface to separate it from the melting impurities. So liquefaction process is nothing but during liquefaction, we have to take a crude metal subjecting to high temperature conditions will be provided. And here you can collect pure metal and the remaining impure metals will be separated. How it will be? In this method, low melting metals like tin, for example, here this liquefaction process can be suitable for the metals having low melting and boiling point values. When we are taking tin metal, tin and lead being both are low melting metals, these are used as a solder in electronic fuse wires, right? So that's the reason why here also we are choosing this tin, being it is a low melting metal. So here it allowed to flow through the slopy surface. So like this, here you can clearly see a slanting position was given to us. During this slanting position, when we are pouring this crude metal through this one, being it is low melting metal, it is freely moving. It will be less viscous when compared to the impurities. So it is freely moving, that will be mobile and can be collected at this container. And remaining being those are having high melting and boiling point values, they exist in solid state. They may not rolled out. They may not passing through this one, and they remains at this position only. In that manner, pure metal will be collected by this equation. For which metal we can choose this one? Only for the metals are having low melting and boiling point values. This method will be suitable for those. And next is about electrolytic refining. So electrolytic refining, where we have to take one cathode and anode, molten material of metal was taken into this one. And most probably graphite will be taken as the anodic chamber. Cathode is made up of pure metal. For example, if we want to extract the copper, that copper will be taken as the cathodic region. Pure copper will be taken as the cathodic region. So always copper should be made up of pure metal. Anode should be made up of, in general, it will be made up of graphite. Right. So that is the condition in general we can apply for the metallurgical process. And when we are applying the external current through this one, what happens? So metal having tendency to get deposited on the cathodic region, highest purity of the metal will be obtained, and whatever impurities will be there, that will be deposited at anodic region, that will be evolved from the anodic region. Right. So this is about electrolytic refining process. So that is represented in a chemical equation form. Metal being it is electropositive and releases electrons, and that reaction carried at anodic compartment. When we are taking metal with a place oxidation state, at cathodic region, these electrons gained and metal will be deposited at this cathodic region. That is the fundamental thing which carried here. Pure metal will deposited on this cathodic region in this electrolysis process. So here, being it is metal will be electropositive, either 1, 2, 3, 4, n number of electrons will be released. That depends upon the valency of that particular metal we are taking. If S block elements was taken, alkali metal was taken, 1 electron will be released. Alkaline earth metal used to give 2 electrons. Yeah. So in this manner, alkaline earth metals get released. They are releasing electrons. That depends upon its valency, right? So in general, these metals are releasing electrons at anodic compartment. At the cathodic region, they will gain the electrons and they got converted into a purified metal and deposited on this cathodic compartment. This is about the experimental representation. Here you can clearly observe one of the electrode is denoted as a cathode. Another electrode is denoted as an anode. When we are taking the metal inside of this one, in the form of impure state, that means we can say crude metal was taken here, and cathode is specifically deposited by this pure form of metal. What we have to do, we have to connect these two terminals of electrodes with the battery. What's the use of battery here? That battery will give electricity. So electricity will be supplied to this one, so that here the entire process will be carried. And how extent of potential generated can be monitored by using this device called the galvanometer. This is about the entire description of this electrolytic refining of copper. How it will be purified? Copper will be taken, that is in the molten state, and external current will be supplied. Cathode and anodic compartments will be made in this, and specifically metal in the pure form will be deposited on the cathodic region. This is about the entire process of electrolysis. And impure copper taken as anode. So here impure copper will be taken as anode, and pure copper strips were taken as a cathodic region. Electrolyte is acidified solution of copper sulfate was taken. So copper sulfate, that is the acidified solution. electrolysis of copper in the pure form. So this is the generalized equation. We can say metal releasing electrons at anode, metal accepting electrons at cathode. But when we go with the specific copper, because we are taking a copper for the refining process by this electrolysis, so that here this anode being it is impure one, that used to release the electrons and converted into copper +2, and here oxidation reaction got carried. At the cathodic region, the released electrons at anode will be accepted by the copper +2, so that it will be converted into copper metal. Pure form of copper metal will be obtained, and that will be deposited at cathodic region. The soluble impurities go into solution, whereas insoluble impurities from the blister copper get deposited at the bottom. So whatever water soluble impurities are there, they will be mixed with water, and impure, any insoluble materials are there, they will be precipitated at the bottom. And bottom of the anode and anode mud, which contains antimony, selenium. So what are the impurities in general this copper will be associated with, which are insoluble in water? One is antimony, selenium, tellurium, silver, gold, platinum. Recovery of these elements may meet the cost of refining. So even these metals also having highest importance in the application field. But it is not possible to recover these metals in the economical extent. That means profitable extent of recovery may not be possible. Even though these are also individual, antimony having its own application, selenium also having, tellurium having, silver is having so many applications, gold itself having much more applications, platinum, it is also applied in the variety of ways. But still, these are available in the minute quantity. Extraction is highly expensive in nature. That's the reason why this anodic mud will not be suitable for the extraction in this condition. Okay, zinc may also refined by the similar manner. Along with the copper, we can go through this purification of zinc as well, right? So here detailed explanation for this refining process was given, that is with a reference to 4 different methods were taken here. What are the 4 methods we discussed in this session? 4 methods are denoted as a distillation process. The second is Pauling method. Third is called, what is the third method? We can say that is a liquefaction, and the fourth one is called electrolysis. Okay, so here distillation method, that is suitable when impurities and pure metal are having very long range of melting point difference. In that case, it is very easy to separate them by the process of distillation, by heating process. And Pauling is mostly specific for copper in the form of blister copper. So for that purpose, Pauling process can be applied. And third method, liquefaction, where the condition required will be when metal is having low melting and boiling point value, liquefaction process will be suitable for the purification. And next is about electrolysis. Electrolysis will be applied to the metal if it is in impure state and can be applied with external electricity. Pure metal will get deposited at cathodic compartment. So these are the ways of refining process. By this, we completed all 3 steps which are used in this metallurgical process. Hope this session will be helpful for your preparation. Thank you very much for your consistent listening. Thank you, one and all.